Upset of the finals, Samoa beating England, going through to the grand final. First time in their history, too. Just an absolute ripper result. Before we go into this game review, I want to highlight the run that England had and how much respect Samoa deserves for this result. So, England coming in absolutely on fire, won 60-6 in the opener against Samoa. 42-18 against France, 94-4 against Greece, and then absolutely destroyed Papua New Guinea in the final, 46-6. A team absolutely on fire, but a team that Samoa managed to bounce back from a 60-6 loss in the opening game to beat this week. Now, Miles, I know you're on Samoa. I know you tipped Samoa in our TikTok predictions as well. Did that game go how you expected it to?
Mate, it went exactly how I expected to. So my boys, my Samoan Usos getting the win. Oh, what a delight that was to watch. Stephen Crichton slotting it from about 35 metres out. Oh, he doesn't get much better than that. Golden Point Rugby League World Cup footy. Unbelievable. Um, just got to give my hats off to the Samoan boys after getting absolutely bitch slapped by England in that game one. To come back and really pull their pants down in front of their home fans was an absolute delight. You've got to really hand it to Coach Matt Parrish. He really got those boys up off the floor and cleaned them up, and they were thoroughly deserving of this win, even though they didn't have 50% of the ball. They did it the hard way. They had a bloke in the bin for 10 minutes as well. And I was just so proud to watch them get to their first Rugby League World Cup final.
Mate, it was an absolute ripper of a game. Look, just on expectations, part of this game didn't go how I expected. And look, obviously, we've really enjoyed the Samoan outside backs through this tournament, but I didn't expect Samoa's edges to be such an advantage. So, center of attention was their center pairing. You got Tim Laffey with 2 tries. You got Stephen Crichton, 2 tries, and the winning field goal. Leading into it, you would have said England's outside backs had the advantage, but do you think Samoa's outside backs played a big role in this one?
Yeah, Laffey has been great ever since Targo went down with a shoulder injury. He's a very experienced NRL player, Laffey, and it's one of those things where you just kind of plugged him in there and see if he'd work. But over the last couple of games, he's been absolutely dominant. I think he scored a fair few tries in that position for Samoa over the last couple of games. And Crichton and reenacting his grand final heroics with another intercept. Mate, the bloke just picks them off and runs 60 metres to score. You're not catching him. So it was, against Farnworth and Callum Watkins again. And we thought at the start of this tournament, when this was the first game, Samoa versus England, and the way that Farnworth and Watkins bullied them around. I think Farnworth ran for over 200 metres, had 5 tackle breaks or something like that, and Callum Watkins had a great game as well. We were thinking exactly the same as what you just said, that they would just dominate again. And these Samoan boys are made of a bit of sterner stuff. I think to get knocked down to the canvas, Rocky Balboa style, and get back up and win the fight is a tremendous effort. And Crichton and Laffey had a big part to play in that, as well as Luai. And we'll get to that in a second.
It is so good. You could argue that Tim Laffey has been maybe in the team of the tournament at centre. Like, I don't know. Look, I'm a vintage sort of fantasy super coach player, and Tim Laffey had a couple of years where he was super relevant in that realm. Like, just a lot of tackle breaks, a lot of offloads, a lot of what he's doing in this tournament, and then he just stopped doing it. I think he went to St. George and just completely fell off the radar. But this is vintage Laffey, and it's just confusing as a fan. You see a guy and you think like, wow, he's been in the wilderness for about 6 years now. But then at this tournament, he's playing exactly how he did previously against better opposition. Like, this England team is incredible.
Yeah, mate. I was always a big fan of Laffey. He was part of those Dogs teams that were, really gritty and they kind of edged out wins. But Laffey seemed to be the guy who broke the tackles and passed to the winger or scored himself a lot of the time. And he was kind of that kind of polar opposite, where he's not quite as, damaging ball runner as Latrell, because he's quite high level, but he had the kind of brilliance about him as like a bit of a Peter Hiku, Like he would break a few tackles, make his tackles, and then just play a really nice role in a club that had some really good halves. If you can get him some space, bit of time with the ball as well, and that's what he's getting here with Milford and Luai really gave him early ball and they let him sing, and he certainly sang pretty loud.
Yeah, the halves like facilitated that game really well. Didn't overplay their hands, just fed their outside backs. A lot of early ball. I mean, we'll read the meters out: 245, 232, 136, 187, and 166 across the back five. And that 245, Big Joe Sawali, mate, how hard is he to tackle? Like, people are falling off him from everywhere. Do you think? All right, question for you, Miles. If you had 100 attempts within a 5 meter channel, do you think you could tackle Joe Sawali once?
It sucks because he's 10 years younger than me. But I'd say no. I'd kind of go for the ankle and hope. Just the Klingon ankle, and they're like dragging you slowly on a 5 meter thing. That's exactly what I'd expect to happen. Maybe if I could even hold on to his ankle or grab the jersey, try and pull him down.
I mean, he
I
wears it
might
tight.
wait.
It's like
Yeah.
right low sort of cut.
The low cut, the
Yeah.
low cut jersey. I don't know whether he asks for that as like a special thing, but it seems to
No,
be
his
the
mum's
way
got
he
the
loves his
scissors before the
jersey.
game. She just like gives it a
Yeah,
cut.
cutting off the collar. Yeah. I'm just gonna have to pray. Hit and hope is going to be my strategy in that 5 yard box
Yeah, the only
for
shot
that
would
one.
be he forgets where the sideline is, steps on it, and you can technically claim that you've defended Joe Sawali. But I agree, it'd be 5 meters is enough for him to sort of exploit anyone for speed as well. I think maybe if it's a 1 meter channel and you just lunged at him 100 times, you might get him once.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but seriously, he's been a game changer though. Like this Samoan attack. I mean, look, we're going to talk about Luai in a sec as well, but and Milford too actually. But Sawali has added so much potency and threat with the ball in hand, and even in that game that they lost against England, he was super threatening in that game as well. So you give this Samoan team another 4 years or 3 years, it'll be actually because 2025 to prepare for this next World Cup, and mate, they're going to be pretty heavily touted.
Yeah. I think one thing I would also like to point out of the 4 teams that made the semi-finals, 3 Roosters fullbacks amongst that lot, and that's
Wow.
something that can't go unnoticed as well. So I'm pretty scared of what the Roosters are going to be able to do next year in the NRL. But yeah, onto the halves for Samoa. Milford has just played his role to perfection, especially over the last couple of games. Last time out against Tonga was a man of the match performance and thoroughly deserved there. He's just taken on the kicking game pressure. And for Luai to be his halves partner is extremely important for Luai because when at club level, Luai has Cleary and Luai can just go about his business and duck and weave. I mean, he had 6 tackle breaks, Jerome Luai, in this game and 3 try assists as well to go along with it. And then we've been saying it all tournament. Well, I've been saying it all tournament. His best addition to his game is his running game. He doesn't use it enough. And in this game, as soon as he breaks the first tackle, he's looking up straight away. Like, where's the hole? Where's the hole? And trying to attack that hole and attack the weakness. And that's what. Did you see Stephen Crichton's first try?
Yeah, no, mate, he surged through, fed Junior Paulo, backed up for the offload, chucked it out the back.
Paulo's offload was ridiculous.
It was absurd, but that's how they've got to play.
Oh,
I mean, they had 15 offloads in this game. Australia, who
yeah.
they're versing next week, had 6 in their game. So like, they've got to play like that, maybe even more like that. Just caution to the wind, crazy footy. Give Luai those opportunities. But yeah, come
Nothing
on,
to
mate.
lose.
Yeah.
Footy. You're playing nothing to lose footy, and I think that's how they felt against England. They came out. Well, England's already beaten us 60-6. Can't get any worse than that.
Mm.
And then they just threw the ball around and came out with the win.
It didn't start well though, because they kicked the ball out in the full opening kickoff.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah,
they looked dodgy early in this game. England were carving holes. England, if they had a bit sort of better reflexes on a couple of the kicks, a couple of really good attacking kicks, they probably scored 3 tries in that first half. But they dropped a few crucial balls. Samoa converted their opportunities. Can't complain. One team was clutch, the other wasn't. One thing I'm going to bring up here too, just while we're in the spine, is Chanel Harris-Tavita. So he would not have expected to play 70 minutes in that game last night. He definitely wasn't
Yeah.
expecting Brown to go down, 10, 15 minutes into the game. But in terms of sort of being thrown into that role, a role that he's not familiar with, he's probably more of a 6, maybe even a 1 than a 9.
Yeah.
44 tackles in that game, only a few misses. Just a great performance from him in terms of holding down the fort, and one that's it's not going to get talked about, but his performance through the middle and shoring up that defense is one component of what won in this game.
Yeah, certainly, especially with Levi going down. I think the last thing Samoa wanted to hear is Farmanu Brown gone for the game. Well, we can't. What are we going to do? Oh, we've got Harris Tavita. Let's throw him in there. He's never played 9 before. Yeah, and the kid came out, and for a bloke who doesn't want to, I guess, continue with rugby league next season, God, he put in an effort like he needs to. But no, he wants to go off and do his own thing, and I respect that as well. But a monster performance from a bloke who's never played 9 and really just got his team on the front foot with a couple of runs out of dummy half as well. Really, as you said, held down the fort quite well, and even excelled at times.
That's all he needed to do. You're talking about Milford playing his role. Chanel Harris Tavita, he needed to play a role, and he absolutely did. It's a weird thing looking into next week, though. We're going to do a preview video after this of Australia versus Samoa, so we're going to dig into that. But they probably want Brown back for that game. Brown is just so potent. They now know that they can lean on Harris Tavita to eat up some of the minutes, but Brown is so potent through the middle in terms of exploiting lazy markers, and yeah, they want him back.
Yeah, definitely. I think the other thing that we can't ignore is England in this World Cup. I think going into this game, you'd probably say that they were the form team of the tournament, just by the fixtures that they displayed early on. I felt for George Williams because I think he gave it everything he could out there, and he was at least trying to get him back on the board, and really broke through the line for that try that got him level as well, and handed it off to Farnworth. But yeah, they just fell short, England, and in front of your home crowd, it's really disappointing to just leave them kind of empty-handed, and it'll sting, I think, this one.
Yeah, George Williams was almost the man of the match in that game. Like, there was a bunch of other times where he just popped his head through, or just beat the line and popped off to someone else. Like, his kicking game was really good too. He exploited a lot. Just too many opportunities that they gave to Samoa. That's the problem. Even in Golden Point, they just kept giving Samoa good field position. Steve Crichton's clutch. Like, he's clutch. In the clutch, he's going to nail that shot. So it wasn't good enough. One other thing I want to talk about, we did hint Junior Paulo before, but Junior, big captain's run, he was in doubt to play this game at all with potential suspension. But yeah, 136 meters, 5 tackle breaks, 1 line break assist, 1 offload, 34 tackles across 60 minutes. 5 tackle breaks for a prop against England is a big stat there, because he's not stepping anyone. He's not, skipping around the outside and laying out a fend. It's not, one of those winger tackle breaks. He's actually running over 5 guys to get that stat.
Yeah.
Was he?
Do you want to bring out the 5-yard box again? And I'll give you 500 goes at trying to tackle him.
All right. So if I can respawn after dying each attempt, then and I can just do it like that in terms of with no reservation. I am sort of 6'1", 6'2", and 100 kilos. So surely one time I can exploit a divot in the grass and catch him at the right angle and he falls over, and we play NFL rules where if he touches the ground, then it's it's tackle complete. I'm going to give myself one. I'm giving myself one.
One. Yep. My plan was to just be a giant Zorb ball, so I can't get hurt.
Are you talking about that skit with Fufu Moi Moi? And
yes.
What's his name? The comedian. He's hilarious. Do you remember who it was?
No.
He read the book, The Happiest Refugee.
Ando.
Ando. Yeah, it was Ando in that. So Ando was in the bubble going at Fufu Moi Moi. Yeah. I would love to recreate that. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, looking at that forward pack though, Junior Paulo, was there anyone else in the pack that really impressed you, or was Junior the guy for you too?
Liggy Sow would be the other guy that really shot out for me. Scored a try in this game as well. Just a real heads up play.
Oh
Noticed
man,
that the markers were a bit slow.
that
Yeah,
try was soft from England though.
yeah.
Like, you
I
enjoy
understand
it and
that,
Samoa enjoy it, but England, come on, like
I know.
that was bad.
But he heads up play. It's a smart play. To notice the markers are slow out of the gate, and he slid across the line, used the surface to get himself there, and it's just a really heads up play from him. And yeah, I can't go past Junior being an absolute weapon. He's captained this team well since they got slapped by England, and now they're in a final. They find themselves in a World Cup final. Imagine if they win it. Far out.
Well,
Yeah,
mate,
the dream.
that's a good segue into our next video. So look, that's our review of Samoa and England, everyone. We're about to do the Samoa versus Australia grand final preview. Whew, no one was picking Samoa versus Australia. So, if you were someone who was picking it, maybe Miles, he picked Samoa. But if you were picking Samoa and Australia, or even just Samoa for that grand final, congratulations to you on the tipping. I'd love to hear in the comments who you're picking for this one. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video.